Birmingham tennis tournament quarterfinals. Leylah Fernandez v Ajla Tomljanovic, the two players on court for the match. Leylah Fernandez, a lefty and all right enough ball striking player, and Ajla Tomljanovic with all right enough ball striking and an all right enough returner as well. 1 game all on serve in the first set. And deuce, Leylah Fernandez service game. Fernandez with a wide serve with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic forehand block return. But then Leylah Fernandez just by the net with a drive forehand volley to the right. And it's a drive forehand volley winner. Advantage Fernandez on this Leylah Fernandez service game. Fernandez with a serve towards the centre of the box, but just hits the net. So second serve. Fernandez with a serve towards the centre, but just hits the net. So double fault. And deuce. Maybe first or second serve, but another serve at least. Fernandez with a serve to the centre. Ajla Tomljanovic return with depth, and the return from Fernandez. And after 2 shots or so, forehand from Fernandez with depth. Backhand from Ajla Tomljanovic with depth. And the last shot from Leylah Fernandez with a backhand just hits the net. So deuce. Fernandez with a serve to the centre with depth. Maybe just out. Another serve at least. Fernandez with a serve to the centre, a bit of depth. Ajla Tomljanovic backhand return, bit of depth. But then Leylah Fernandez strikes a forehand winner to the left. Advantage Fernandez. Fernandez with a serve towards the centre of the box, maybe just out. Another serve at least. Fernandez with a wide serve with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic's forehand block return is a bit out, so advantage Fernandez. Fernandez with a wide serve with depth, and Ajla Tomljanovic's backhand return just hits the net, so that service game is held. And it's 2-1 Fernandez on serve in the first set. Ajla Tomljanovic service game. Tomljanovic with a serve to the centre, but just hits the net, so second serve. Tomljanovic with a serve to centre of the box, a bit of depth. Leylah Fernandez backhand return with depth to the right. And Ajla Tomljanovic's return after that is just out, so love 15. Tomljanovic with a serve to the centre, a bit of depth. Fernandez a backhand return, bit of depth, and backhand from Tomljanovic. After 2 shots or so, forehand from Tomljanovic with depth, and Fernandez with forehand with depth. Tomljanovic returns. Backhand drop shot to left from Leylah Fernandez, just hits the net. So 15-all. Tomljanovic with a serve to the centre, a bit of depth. Leylah Fernandez backhand slice return with depth. Tomljanovic forehand. Then Leylah Fernandez with forehand to left with depth, and Ajla Tomljanovic's backhand return after that is a bit out, so 30-all. Tomljanovic with a serve to the centre box, a bit of depth. Leylah Fernandez backhand return to left with depth. Tomljanovic returns. Drive forehand volley from Leylah Fernandez. Tomljanovic returns with a defensive lob, but then a smash overhead from Leylah Fernandez to the right, and a smash overhead winner. Deuce. Tomljanovic with a serve to the centre with depth. Fernandez returns with depth, though, and after a shot or so, Leylah Fernandez with a forehand to the right, and Leylah Fernandez strikes a forehand winner to the right with that shot. Advantage and break point. Leylah Fernandez on this Ajla Tomljanovic service game. That forehand to the right, just spot on. Tomljanovic with a serve to the centre, a bit of depth. Leylah Fernandez backhand return, bit of depth. But then Ajla Tomljanovic strikes a backhand with depth to the left, and Leylah Fernandez with a backhand side shot on defence. The shot after that is a bit out, so deuce. Tomljanovic was served to centre wide the box with depth. Fernandez returns and backhand from Tomljanovic. Fernandez with a forehand to left with depth. Tomljanovic returns with a backhand with depth to the left, and Leylah Fernandez gets a bit of backhand racket to it but can't get the ball much further, so advantage Tomljanovic on this Ajla Tomljanovic service game. Tomljanovic will wide serve with depth. Leylah Fernandez forehand return to the right, and then Ajla Tomljanovic with a forehand to the right just hits the net, so deuce. Tomljanovic with a wide serve just out, so second serve. Tomljanovic with a serve sent to the box with depth. Leylah Fernandez returns, and then Ajla Tomljanovic with a forehand to the right. It's just out, so advantage and break point Leylah Fernandez. Tomljanovic with a serve to the centre, a bit of depth. Backhand return with depth from Fernandez, and Tomljanovic returns. Then a backhand drop shot to the left from Leylah Fernandez, and it's a backhand drop shot winner from Leylah Fernandez on that shot. So Leylah Fernandez leads the first set 3-1 with a breaker serve. Leylah Fernandez service game. Fernandez will serve to the centre with depth. Tomljanovic returns, but then a bit further forward, Leylah Fernandez strikes a forehand to the right, but just hits the net, so love 15. Fernandez will serve to the centre with depth, and Ajla Tomljanovic's forehand return to the right is just out, so 15-all. Fernandez will serve to the centre with depth, and Ajla Tomljanovic's backhand return is a bit out, so 30-15. Fernandez will wide serve with depth, and Ajla Tomljanovic's backhand return to the right just hits the net, so 40-15. Fernandez with a second serve wide with depth, but Tomljanovic returns, and Leylah Fernandez with a shot with depth to the left, which Tomljanovic returns. But then Leylah Fernandez at the net with a backhand drop volley to the left, and it's a backhand drop volley winner from Leylah Fernandez, and it's 4-1 Leylah Fernandez in the first set with a breaker serve. So on serve in the second set, 2-1 Tomljanovic on serve in the second set. Leylah Fernandez leads by 1 set to love. Leylah Fernandez won the first set with a double break to win the first set 6-1. And on serve in the second set, Leylah Fernandez service game. Fernandez will serve to centre with depth. Tomljanovic with a backhand return with depth. Then Fernandez returns, and Ajla Tomljanovic with a backhand to the left with a bit of depth, and Leylah Fernandez's backhand shot return after that is a bit out, so love 15. Fernandez second serve centre to the box with depth, and Ajla Tomljanovic's backhand return to the left is just out, so 15-all. Fernandez will serve to the centre of depth. Tomljanovic returns, and Fernandez forehand with a bit of depth, and then Ajla Tomljanovic's forehand to the right after that is just out, so 30-15. Fernandez with a wide serve, and it's in, so an ace for Leylah Fernandez, and 40-15. Fernandez will serve centre of the box with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic forehand block return, and Leylah Fernandez a bit further forward, forehand with depth to left. Tomljanovic returns. Then after 3 shots or so, Fernandez with a forehand, and then Ajla Tomljanovic's forehand to the left is a bit out, so Leylah Fernandez holds that service game, so 2 games all on serve in the second set. Ajla Tomljanovic service game. Tomljanovic will serve wide serve with depth. Leylah Fernandez returns with depth, and then after 2 shots or so, forehand from Tomljanovic. Leylah Fernandez with forehand to the left after that, but it's just out, so 15 love. Tomljanovic will serve with depth, centre wide the box. Leylah Fernandez returns, but then further forward, Ajla Tomljanovic strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a forehand winner on that shot from Ajla Tomljanovic. 30-15. Tomljanovic will serve to centre with depth, but Leylah Fernandez with a backhand return winner ace. Backhand return winner ace to the right from Leylah Fernandez. So 30-all. Tomljanovic with a wide serve and an ace for Ajla Tomljanovic. So 40-30. And it's the second ace of the match for Ajla Tomljanovic. 3 aces for Leylah Fernandez. Tomljanovic with a serve to the centre with a bit of depth. Leylah Fernandez backhand return. But then a bit further forward, Ajla Tomljanovic strikes a backhand winner to the right. And that service game is held. So 3-2 Tomljanovic on serve in the second set, with Leylah Fernandez leading by 1 set to love. So Leylah Fernandez service game on serve in the second set. 3-2 Tomljanovic on serve in the second set, with Leylah Fernandez leading by 1 set to love. And it's 15-all on this Leylah Fernandez service game. Fernandez with a serve to the centre with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic backhand block return. Forehand drive volley from Leylah Fernandez, and in a shot also Ajla Tomljanovic with a backhand return, and Leylah Fernandez at the net with a forehand volley, but it's a bit out, so 15-30. Fernandez with a wide serve, and it's a good short angle wide serve from Leylah Fernandez. And 5th ace of the match for Leylah Fernandez. 5 aces in this match for Leylah Fernandez, 2 for Ajla Tomljanovic. 30-all. Fernandez with a serve towards centre box with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic forehand block returning. A forehand to the right from Fernandez with a bit of depth, and then Ajla Tomljanovic with a return with depth, and then Leylah Fernandez with a forehand with depth to the left, and Ajla Tomljanovic's next shot after that is a bit out, so 40-30. Fernandez with serve to the centre of the box with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic with return, and forehand from Fernandez with depth to the right, and Tomljanovic turns. Now another shot, and then a backhand with depth after 1 to 2 shots or so. A backhand with depth to the centre from Ajla Tomljanovic, and then Leylah Fernandez's backhand after that is a bit out, so deuce. Fernandez with a serve to centre of the box with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic forehand return with a bit of depth. Forehand from Leylah Fernandez. Tomljanovic with a forehand with depth to the right. Fernandez returns, and Tomljanovic with a forehand to the left with depth, and then Leylah Fernandez with a forehand after that just hits the net. So advantage and break point Ajla Tomljanovic. Fernandez with a serve towards centre wide the box just hits the net. So second serve. Fernandez with a serve to the centre. Bit of depth. Ajla Tomljanovic forehand block return, and a forehand from Fernandez, and Tomljanovic return. Backhand from Leylah Fernandez, a bit of depth, and a backhand from Ajla Tomljanovic with a bit of depth on return. And Leylah Fernandez with a backhand after that just hits the net with that shot. And Ajla Tomljanovic with a breaker serve leads the second set 4-2. Tomljanovic with a serve to the centre of the box with depth. Fernandez return depth. Backhand bit of depth from Ajla Tomljanovic. Forehand from Fernandez. And then a backhand slice from Ajla Tomljanovic just hits the net. So love 15. Tomljanovic with a serve centre of the box with depth. Fernandez forehand return. Then Ajla Tomljanovic with a backhand to the right with depth. And then Leylah Fernandez with a backhand to the right. It's just out. So 15-all. Tomljanovic second serve. Wide with depth. Leylah Fernandez returns. And then a bit further forward just by net. Ajla Tomljanovic with a backhand to the right, but it just hits the net. So 15-30. Tomljanovic with a wide serve with depth, and Leylah Fernandez's forehand return to the left is a bit out. So 30-all. Tomljanovic with a serve to the centre of the box with depth. Fernandez returns after 2 shots or so. Backhand from Ajla Tomljanovic with depth, and then Fernandez returns depth, and Tomljanovic returns with depth. And then Leylah Fernandez with a forehand to the right. It's just out, so 40-30. Tomljanovic with a serve to centre the box with depth. And Leylah Fernandez with a forehand return winner ace to the right. Deuce. Tomljanovic with a serve to the centre with depth, and Leylah Fernandez's forehand return just hits the net, so advantage Tomljanovic. Tomljanovic with a serve to the centre, a bit of depth, and Leylah Fernandez's backhand return to left just hits the net, so that service game is held. So Leylah Fernandez leads by 1-0, but Ajla Tomljanovic leads the second set with a breaker serve at 5-2. Leylah Fernandez service game, 30-love. Fernandez with a serve to the centre with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic with a backhand block return, but then further forward, just near the net, Leylah Fernandez strikes a forehand winner to the right, so 40-love. Fernandez with a serve with depth to the centre. Ajla Tomljanovic returns, but then Leylah Fernandez strikes a forehand winner to the left and holds that service game to love. 5-3. Ajla Tomljanovic with a breaker serve in the second set. So Ajla Tomljanovic with a service game to level the match at 1-all, potentially, maybe. Leylah Fernandez won the first set 6-1 with a double break. But Ajla Tomljanovic leads with breaker serve 5-3 in the second set. And potentially with a service game to level the match at 5-3 with a breaker serve in this second set. Tomljanovic the serve to the centre with depth. Leylah Fernandez forehand block return. But then further forward, near the net, Ajla Tomljanovic with a forehand drive volley to left, and it's a forehand drive volley winner. 15-love. Tomljanovic, second serve to centre with a bit of depth, but Leylah Fernandez backhand return to the left is just out, so 30-love. Tomljanovic for wide serve with depth. Leylah Fernandez backhand block return just hits the net, so 40-love. And 3 set points for Ajla Tomljanovic on this Ajla Tomljanovic service game at 5-3 with breaker serve in the second set. So 3 set points to potentially level the match at 1-all. Tomljanovic with a serve to centre wide the box with depth, but Leylah Fernandez with a forehand return to the right with depth, and Ajla Tomljanovic may have got a bit of forehand racket to it, but can't get the ball much further, so 40-15. Tomljanovic with a serve centre the box with depth. Leylah Fernandez with a backhand return to the right with depth, and Ajla Tomljanovic with a forehand a bit out, so 40-30. Tomljanovic the serve centre wide the box with depth. Fernandez turns and backhand bit of depth from Tomljanovic, and then after another shot or so, Leylah Fernandez with the last shot in the rally with a forehand just misses with that shot, and it's 1-all. 6-3 Ajla Tomljanovic in the second set with a breaker serve, and the match is level at 1-all. So third and final set, Ajla Tomljanovic leading with breaker serve. Tomljanovic reserves the centre of depth. Leylah Fernandez turns for forehand, then Ajla Tomljanovic with a backhand with depth to the right, and Leylah Fernandez's forehand return after that is a bit out, so 30-all on this Ajla Tomljanovic service game. 1-love Tomljanovic in the third and final set with a breaker serve with the match level at 1-all. Tomljanovic with a wide serve and an ace from Ajla Tomljanovic. Third ace of the match for Ajla Tomljanovic. Leylah Fernandez with 5 aces in this match. Tomljanovic serve centre the box a bit of depth. Leylah Fernandez backhand return with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic with a backhand to the left with depth on return, and then Leylah Fernandez with a backhand just hits the net. So that service game is held, and Ajla Tomljanovic leads the third and final set 2-love. Fernandez with a wide serve, bit of depth. Ajla Tomljanovic for forehand return with a bit of depth, and then Leylah Fernandez with a shot after that. It's just out, so love 40 and 3 break points potentially for a double break for Ajla Tomljanovic in the third and final set, maybe. Fernandez reserve to centre with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic for a forehand return. Then a backhand to the right with depth from Leylah Fernandez, and Ajla Tomljanovic gets a bit of forehand racket to it but can't get the ball much further, so 15-40. Ajla Tomljanovic service game, 30-15. Tomljanovic reserve to centre with depth. Leylah Fernandez returns. Ajla Tomljanovic then with backhand to the right with depth, and then backhand slice from Leylah Fernandez. And Tomljanovic with a shot. And Tomljanovic towards net, but Leylah Fernandez with a forehand to the left, and Ajla Tomljanovic with a forehand volley hits the net a bit with that shot, so 30-all. Tomljanovic reserve to the centre with depth, and Leylah Fernandez's forehand return just hits the net, so 40-30. Tomljanovic reserve to the centre with depth, and Leylah Fernandez's backhand block return is a bit out, so that service game is held 4-love Ajla Tomljanovic for a double break in the third and final set. Fernandez reserve to the centre of the box for a bit of depth. Ajla Tomljanovic forehand return with depth, and then return from Leylah Fernandez. Forehand slice from Ajla Tomljanovic, but then a bit further forward, Leylah Fernandez strikes a forehand winner to the right, so 15-love. Fernandez reserve to the centre. Ajla Tomljanovic a forehand return with depth, and forehand from Fernandez. Ajla Tomljanovic a forehand to the right with depth, and then Leylah Fernandez with a slice backhand, and then Ajla Tomljanovic's last shot after that is just out, so 30-love. Fernandez reserve to the centre, a bit of depth. Ajla Tomljanovic's backhand return to the left is just out, so 40-love. So Ajla Tomljanovic service game, 4-1 with a double break in the third and final set, 1 set all, and it's love 15 on this Ajla Tomljanovic service game. Tomljanovic reserve centre of the box with depth, but Leylah Fernandez with a forehand return with depth to the right, and then Ajla Tomljanovic's forehand after that is a bit out, so love 30. Tomljanovic reserve to the centre, and it's an ace for Ajla Tomljanovic. 4th ace of the match for Ajla Tomljanovic. 5 aces for Leylah Fernandez in this match. Tomljanovic reserve to the centre with depth. Leylah Fernandez backhand block return. And then Ajla Tomljanovic with a backhand drop shot to the right. And it's a backhand drop shot winner from Ajla Tomljanovic. So 30-all. Tomljanovic reserve centre of the box with depth. Leylah Fernandez return. And forehand with depth from Tomljanovic. Leylah Fernandez returns. Forehand from Tomljanovic. And then Leylah Fernandez with a backhand to the left. And Leylah Fernandez strikes a backhand winner to the left. So 30-40. Tomljanovic reserve to the centre with depth, and Leylah Fernandez's backhand block return just hits the net, so deuce. Tomljanovic reserve to the centre with depth. Leylah Fernandez return and forehand with depth from Ajla Tomljanovic to the centre, and Leylah Fernandez's backhand after that is a bit out, so advantage Tomljanovic. Tomljanovic with a second serve, centre of the box with a bit of depth, and Leylah Fernandez's backhand return to the left is just out. So that service game is held 5-1 Ajla Tomljanovic in the third and final set of a double break. Fernandez reserve to centre with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic returns to depth, and then a backhand with depth from Ajla Tomljanovic a bit after that. But then after return from Leylah Fernandez, the next backhand from Ajla Tomljanovic is a bit out, so 15-love. Fernandez with a wide serve with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic backhand block return. Leylah Fernandez with a forehand to the right with depth, and then Ajla Tomljanovic returns with a forehand bit of depth now after 2 shot. And then Leylah Fernandez and Ajla Tomljanovic with a shot each, but Ajla Tomljanovic's last shot is a bit out. So 30-love. Fernandez reserve with a bit of depth. Ajla Tomljanovic forehand return with depth, and Leylah Fernandez with a bit of forehand racket on it. Can't get the ball much further. May have got a bit of forehand racket on it, but it's 30-15. Forehand return with depth from Ajla Tomljanovic. Fernandez reserve to the centre with depth. Forehand block return from Tomljanovic, and backhand with depth to the right from Fernandez. Tomljanovic backhand with depth to left from Fernandez. Backhand return from Tomljanovic. Forehand with depth from Fernandez. Tomljanovic turns again, and after a shot also, Leylah Fernandez with backhand to the right with depth, and Ajla Tomljanovic The forehand after that to the right just hits the net with that shot, so 40-15. Fernandez with a wide serve with depth. Ajla Tomljanovic backhand return, backhand to the right with depth from Leylah Fernandez. And strikes a backhand winner to the right with that shot, Leylah Fernandez. So that service game is held 5-2. Ajla Tomljanovic for a double break in the third and final set. And 1 set all. Ajla Tomljanovic service game and 40-15. 2 match points for Ajla Tomljanovic, leading with a double break. And 2 match points on this service game. Serve centre to wide the box with depth, and Leylah Fernandez's backhand return just hits the net. Game, set and match. Ajla Tomljanovic. Ajla Tomljanovic into the semi-finals of the Birmingham tournament, winning in 3 sets v Leylah Fernandez by 2 sets to 1, 1-6, 6-3, 6-2.